Good morning. As you might know, I give Kundalini awakening sessions both in person and online. And today I thought I'd give a little bit of information about what Kundalini is and what these sessions might offer for you. So Kundalini is often described as a coiled up serpent energy. Now that sounds very mystical. And it's actually interesting to see that many cultures all over the world have referred to this energy with the metaphor of a snake. And even in the West, when we look at the logos on a pharmacy or an ambulance, we see a staff and two serpents, two snakes, coiled around them. And so it indicates that there's this connection, that there's this knowledge that even here in the West, we know that there's a linkage between a certain energy and a vitality and a health benefit. Now the word Kundalini is originally from India and has been described in many ways. In China, they used to refer to it as Qi, and I think Qi is the pronunciation or the description in Japan and in South Korea. But it's all pointing to the same energy, a vitality which is linked to this energy which is placed at the bottom of our spine and is usually dormant, so it only remains there. This energy, we do recognize it in daily life, usually when we are aroused. We find this energy at the lower chakra, the base of our spine, but it can also go upwards the spine and have a different expression. Once it moves up, when the Kundalini rises, so to speak, it can come in the forms of creativeness and expression of love or certain wisdom. So it is that this energy is normally at the lower base of our spine and it can rise up and then go down again, connecting the heaven, inspiration, with the lower chakras, the more earthly energies of actual physical manifestation. Now in these sessions we make use of a very passive form of Kundalini. Kundalini yoga is something that's practiced in many places and it is often combined with intention setting, breath work, and a more masculine approach of goal setting. Now what I always say is that excuse me, that there is this intelligence in you which has been beating your heart for all your life, which is probably at this moment performing literally millions of chemical processes in all of your cells without you having to consciously think about it. I would even say that if you were to take over that task consciously, you'd probably not survive very long, because it's just impossible for you to mentally comprehend what is needed. So therefore I use a passive form of Kundalini, because I don't want to interrupt this intelligence, this wisdom of the system with what our petty little thoughts can come up with, which thinks that, oh, I need to rise the Kundalini or something. No, this is not needed. What is needed is surrendering, a trust in that this innate system that is in our bodies, that has been keeping us alive all this time, really knows what to do. It is often described, Kundalini, as a feminine energy. And there's two elements in the Indian traditions. It's often been described as Shiva and Shakti. Shiva is the masculine energy, which is complete emptiness, the Shiva, the destroyer. So it is an emptiness in which any form can be expressed. And Shakti is the feminine, which is that which expresses itself in this form, this multiplicity. And when we refer to I, at a young age, you notice that there is this element in you, maybe when you were 5 years old, 12 years old, 18 years old, nowadays, and probably the day you leave this physical body, an element that doesn't change, that's unwavering. And you've always referred to it as, yeah, that's me. And at the same time, apart from this Shiva aspect, the masculine aspect, which is unchanging, there is this more feminine, changing element to you, known as Shakti, which says, well, my life does change. I feel I've grown, I've changed over time. So that's this dance between the Shiva and the Shakti aspect, the masculine and the feminine aspect. And in these Kundalini sessions, it is this dance of the two snakes that allows for the vitality of the system to be more fully embraced. What happens in these sessions is that people lie down, and we say that there's only one thing you can do, and that is complete surrender. So whenever a thought comes up which says, am I making this up? Am I actually feeling this? Or is this something that's my mind has come up with? Just allow it to be. You let it flow. We have in these sessions, we make use of music to calm the mind down, and at the same time make sure that certain energies arise. But nothing more is done than you alone or in a group lying down, and an energy is opened up. I feel it that my crown chakra and my heart chakra open up. Even before the sessions, I already know it's starting. And as a result, people in the sessions, whether this is in person or online, they start to notice that there is this innate intelligence in themselves that's being awoken, that feels the need for visualizations, for thoughts, for movements, maybe a movement in the shoulder or your hand, certain tingling, maybe even certain smells that come up to express themselves. And it is interesting to see that every session is different for every person. But what it does, it is, as we talked about this spine and the base of the spine having the dormant energy, which in these sessions is awakened and moved up the spinal column and down again, it is like a cleaning process. The system knows what needs to be cleaned up in order for you to express yourself in a more beautiful and coherent way, in line with what your true potential is. I've had diverse and very interesting things that people have experienced during these sessions. Too much to go into now, but for instance, a few elements I could talk about. I've had someone lose completely their fear of flying after a few sessions. I've had people that normally find themselves in work situations, taking on any task and never saying, no, this is enough, suddenly find themselves drawing the line, saying, no, this is enough, this is what I can handle, and this is how it's going to be from now on. So it can be on this more psychological level, but it can also be that people experience a lot of energy. I've had myself actually, after a few sessions, that in the middle of the night I would wake up and I started cleaning my house. I was so much energy. So it's interesting to see. What I always say is that there's only one thing that's needed: trust. Trust your own system, letting go in these sessions of that what the mind thinks it needs, and really falling into your authentic self. I've given these sessions both in person, smaller groups, but also larger groups, and I also give them online through Zoom. And if you're interested in knowing a bit more about these sessions, you can look them on my website and we can set up an appointment. I've done this with people in different locations through Zoom. It works perfectly. You might think, well, we need to be in the same physical location. This is the beauty of this kind of energetic work. It is not necessary. And with the technology we have nowadays with Zoom and Spotify playlists, this works really beautifully. So let me know if you have any questions and maybe talk to you soon. Have a great day.